of the Holy Spirit through the Holy Father's inspiring presence. Friends, let us welcome Vatican spokesperson Father Federico Lombardi, S.J.
Thank you very much for coming here. I am very, very happy to be finally in the Philippines with the Pope and with you. I think that already this first encounter of the Pope with the Filipino people was very impressive, important, and touching, and the Pope has received a very strong first impression and experience, a spiritual experience of meeting with your people. I don't know how many people were at the street. You have to evaluate this with your knowledge of Manila and of the crowds here. I was trying to evaluate and said, yes, there are already several hundred thousand people. And then another kilometer, other several hundred thousand people. At the end, I was lost. And I will say many, many, many 100,000 people. I have asked Cardinal Tagle, that was with the Pope on the Papamobile at the Nunciature, and he said to me, I think 2 or 3 millions. Well, I don't give an official number. You can ask the authority of the town, but in any case, there was an impressive number. And Cardinal Tagle said to me, yes, the Pope was very impressed, and they said to me, the Holy Spirit will have to work to touch all the hearts of these people that we see. In the sense, this is his first perspective, you understand, the Spirit has to work with him and for these days of grace, mercy and compassion, I think will be really a great experience for the Church and for the entire nation of Philippines. The Pope comes, as you know, from Sri Lanka. He has finished this morning the first part of the journey in Sri Lanka, leaving from Colombo this morning. I don't know if you were looking at the events of this first part of the trip. They were also very impressive and with a big spiritual success, so to say, because really the atmosphere was of hope, of inspiration for changing the situation of the land and improving with reconciliation and go toward peace among the different components of the society, about the different religious groups, Buddhist, Christians, Hinduist, Muslim, and so on. There were very touching pastoral experience, like the canonization of Saint Joseph Vaz, the evangelizator of the Sri Lanka, and then the Marian prayer in Madhu, in a sanctuary in the northern part of the island, where we had together the different groups of Tamil and Sinhala, and also other people, Hinduist, Buddhist, and so on. A profound experience, spiritual experience of reconciliation, of hope, of prayer together. And the Pope was really profoundly involved in this mission to help the people to hope for the future and to reconcile and so on. In this sense, you have a Pope that comes with a very rich experience already and with a great joy for the service that he has done to an Asian nation in these days. I think this mission is blessed by the Holy Spirit in these days, and he hopes, and we all hope, that it continues to work so intensive with, with him and with you. Every one of us knows that the Philippines are the largest Christian and Catholic country in Asia, and then in this perspective of Pope Francis to come to Asia, that was so important from the very beginning of his pontificate, this journey to Filipino was was necessary. It was clear that it was necessary to come also to this very important nation that is the center of the Catholic Church in this continent. And we recall, and the Pope recalls also the past trips of journeys of the popes before him, Paul VI and the 2 times John Paul II. And then every one of us understands that for the popes, this is already the 4th time that the Pope comes to the Philippines. To come here is really to come to the center, living center of the Catholic Church in Asia, and from here you can see the presence of the Church in this fundamental continent. And also the Pope has in mind the preparation of the 5th centenary of the evangelization in the Philippines. He is very happy to have canonized a great evangelizator yesterday, because Joseph Vaz is a saint that was in Asian. He comes from Goa, from India, and was a powerful, very very inspired evangelizator of Sri Lanka at the time. And in this sense, the Pope has decided to give this model of an evangelizator for Asian nations, and come here for the preparation, during the preparation of the 5th centenary of the evangelization of Philippines, is in the line, in the mind, obviously, of the Pope. But as you see, as you know very well, an occasion also for this coming of the Pope is the tragedy of the hurricane in the past years, and then the desire to come to be present and to encourage, to help spiritually, and with his encouragement, all the people that have suffered and suffer still from this great disaster, and from other problems that are here for natural or social causes in this society. During the flight from Colombo to the Philippines, the Pope has had a long and rich conversation with the journalist, more or less 40 minutes of dialogue answering a question posed by the journalist. Now there is still for the journalist an embargo until 8 to publish information about this conversation. They have an accord among them to publish at the time. In this sense, in some time you will have many information by the colleagues about what the Pope has said during this flight. Are a lot of different issues that have to do with the trip in Sri Lanka, something also with the Philippines, something with other general question about the church and problems in the world. That is very interesting, and you will be informed by our colleagues in 20 minutes. Well, the Pope is in good health. Everyone asks me, if you see me, yes, how is the Pope? How is tired? Yes, obviously he comes here after 3-4 days of journey and of very intense activity and touching and involving spiritual experiences. In this sense, he is not yeah, at the beginning of the journey, but is already in the journey. He had already some fatiguing effort to do. But the Pope has a charisma that if he sees people and is with the people, as a big pastor, takes energy from the people that is around him. In this sense, normally, also in the big audiences or the big celebration, he feels to be encouraged and inspired and helped by the faith of the people present. And in this sense, you feel that he has new energy, even if he was already tired before. In these days, for instance, at the beginning, he had a long way to do, 28 kilometers under the sun, meeting the people at the arrival. This was really something very difficult but it was for him the big occasion to meet directly, to encounter directly the people of Sri Lanka that were only in a minority Catholic or Christian. The majority were of different religion, but they were so happy also to see him and to meet him that the Pope has done this great endeavor to be at the Pope Mobile open, totally open, as you have seen also this evening with the people on the street for a long time. But also in the following day we have seen also in mass celebration like the canonization or the prayer, Marian prayer in Madhu, that he was very involved, very happy, and full of energy. And in this sense, I think that also this first meeting with the Filipino people will encourage him, and you will have a Pope in good health and good spiritual standing in the next days with you. A little impression by me, I think also by the Pope, a very different situation in the reception in Sri Lanka and here, because as the tone of the reception celebration in Sri Lanka had very much of the local culture with the dances and the song and the musical traditional instrument and so on, with elephants and so on. But here we have had thousands of young people doing also dance, but a different way of dance, not the same that we have seen in Colombo, coming from the traditional dance of Kandy. In the sense, we feel immediately that the situation also, cultural situation and spiritual situation is different. And also, we were there in a large city, but not 1 million inhabitants. We are here in the center of a megalopolis of more than 10 million inhabitants. We feel immediately a different situation. In this sense, I think there are new aspects of this trip, but already the first meeting of this evening with millions of people gives us an idea of what will be the importance of this presence of the Pope for the Filipino people in these days, and how the expectation is. And therefore, I have said that these little words that Cardinal Tagle has given to me from the Pope. Yes, the Holy Spirit has to work in these days for all these people to go in the profound heart of everyone and to give the grace that they are expecting. Well, I think this is practically what I had to say at the very beginning. I have come with the Pope 1 hour ago, and then I cannot say many things still, but in the next days we have to comment in long and important events. But if someone has question to pose and I can say something, I am ready.
Yes. Thank you very much, Father Lombardi. Just for the information of everyone, we are connected live to another media center. So we also have our media colleagues at the Manila Hotel, at the International Media Center. So they're connected live. They're hearing the comments, the responses from here. Can we see them on the monitor? Are they around? Are they around? Okay. Okay. So this is what we'll do. If you have a question, kindly please mention your name and the network that you represent, so that we can be orderly. Who would like to ask the first question? Okay, we'll have the gentleman in blue, and then you afterwards, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm John Neri from the Inquirer. Father Lombardi, the 3 previous papal visits started with memorable arrival statements read by the visiting popes. Was there an arrival statement prepared by Pope Francis, or is this one of the many things that he has decided not to continue?
No, the program of these days is very clear. The Pope will have a number of public speeches and homilies. But this evening it was not previewed to have a public speech of the Pope, because he will have tomorrow morning the meeting at the Presidential Palace in Manila with the first speech at 10 after 10 tomorrow morning, because there are different ways to organize a trip. Several times the Pope arrives, and the arrival ceremony is at the airport with the speech of the President and of the Pope. Sometime, no, because there is a simple form of reception and then another more solemn form of reception in the Presidential Palace with the presence of the diplomatic corps and other authorities. This time here, this is the form chosen. In Colombo, no. In Colombo, we had the speech of the President of the Pope exactly at the airport, and then only a private visit, simple visit to the Presidential Palace. Here, this is normally organized together with the authorities of the land as they prefer. And then, in this sense, this evening was a simple way to receive the Pope, but with the military honor and with these incredible young people dancing in a very modern way. And this was also a very good way to receive the Pope, very expressive of the young people in the Philippines. Yes, the Pope will have a meeting with them, and I think it will be a very important moment of this visit. But the speech, the first public, important, prepared speech of the Pope is tomorrow at the Presidential Palace. Tomorrow we have 3 important speeches of the Pope to follow. The first is in the morning at the Presidential Palace. The second is the homily of the Mass with the bishop and clergy in the cathedral. And the third, also very important and interesting, is in the meeting with families at the Mall of Asia Arena in the evening. Then 3 times will the Pope speak publicly tomorrow.
What's your question?
Good evening. Welcome to the Philippines. I'm Celerina Del Mundo Monte from the Daily Manila Shimbun, Japanese newspaper. Sir, tomorrow, sir, the Pope will be meeting with the President. May we know what will be the agenda of their meeting? What could be the possible issues that the Pope will be raising to the President?
Yes, normally these meetings have a certain agenda. If the Pope has some points to propose to the President, or the President has some point to propose to the Pope, well, but this is normally not public. It is published before the councillors of the Pope or the President give them some points, but normally I try to say afterwards if they say me to communicate some central point of the meeting. But I do immediately an observation. I don't know if this is useful for the occasion. In this visit, normally these meetings are not meeting with a long and profound discussion of points about the relation state, church, or specific relation, are more friendship meeting, courtesy meetings, and so on. Because sometimes there are other occasions to have more profound discussion of single points. We have also the diplomats. We have the ambassador to the Holy See. We have the ambassador of the Vatican to the Philippines. We have sometimes visit of the presidents, of the prime minister to Rome. And then in this occasion, normally there are more discussion of concrete points. In this occasion, the Pope and the President will have a very short time to be together. And then normally the Pope prefers to have a personal encounter. This is very characteristic of Pope Francis. He likes to encounter concrete people and know them. And then very often after these meetings, he says me, yes, this is a wise person. This is more attentive to the personality of the interlocutor than to some political particular points that can be discussed by the diplomats afterwards. And then in this sense, I preview, but we can speak about this again tomorrow. There's the meeting with the President will be more a personal meeting. And through the personal meetings, the Pope does big steps forward because the fascination, the charisma that he demonstrates in the relation with the other helps very much also to solve other questions. In this sense, I think that the meeting, personal meeting of tomorrow will be more a personal occasion of encounter that will be very, very important. But for the public issues, you will listen the speech of the Pope, the public speech, and also the speech of the President. And then you can listen by them personally what they will have to say to the diplomatic corps and to every one of us. But I can say afterwards if there is some particular point that they said me. For instance, in Sri Lanka, they have said me immediately the point of the conversation was reconciliation in the land. The new mission of the new president is to try to help reconciliation. And then how can also the church help? This was very clearly the point of the conversation. Tomorrow, I don't know.
Okay. Who has the next question? Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to the Philippines. My name is Michelle Orosa Ople from TV5. Could you please expound on how the Pope felt about the youth, especially since he was welcomed so enthusiastically earlier this evening, and maybe give us a glimpse of what the central message might be for the youth when he meets them later this week?
Yes. Yeah, normally I say, please listen to the Pope, see and listen. I have not to say before in poor words something that will be an incredible experience in the moment of the concrete meeting. In this sense, I have nothing particular to say. But you have seen that the reason, one of the important reasons of the first journey of the Pope to Asia was the meeting of the Asian Catholic youths. He was invited to Korea, first of all, for the meeting of the young people of Asia. And he accepted, was very touched, and he accepted to go to Korea. Then there were also other important events, like the beatification of the martyrs and so on. But the first idea to fly to Korea was because he was invited to the meeting of the young Catholic people in Korea. This says very much about the attention of the Pope for the youth and how he feels well with them. And in this sense, I think he was very happy to be welcomed by living youth people, and he will be very happy to meet them in the next days again and to give some message that will surely be a message of enthusiasm, of inspiration, of love, of hope, and of responsibility in building the future, and so on. Missionarity also for the evangelization, but he will have many things to say.
Who has the next question? Okay. Your Excellency? Yes.
So, Father Federico Lombardi, thank you for being with us for this first evening. It's a blessing that the Holy Father, with the whole entourage and the VAMP, the Vatican Accredited Media Personnel, arrived safely here. And we look forward to the coming days. In the words of our dear Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the Holy Spirit will blow where it will. And definitely, these days will be exciting. It will be days of grace.
So thank you very much once again. We look forward to listening to the Pope and experiencing his healing presence. See you once again tomorrow. God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Very good, very good.